Stay positive, even during your times of hardship, because your situation can change and improve when you're least expecting it. Hello there, thanks for joining us on another educational edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm your host, Theodore Henry. Stay with us as we take you through another well-anticipated half hour. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back.
Public passenger vehicle operators and commercial carriers, renew your road license online. It's as easy as 1-2 click. Visit the Transport Authority website at www.ta.org.jm. Choose your license type and click Apply Now. Sign in or create an account with your email address and complete the application process, uploading all relevant documents. Make payment using a debit or credit card. Once your application is approved, the Transport Authority will email you to collect your sticker. Pick up your sticker in office or utilize our courier service. Once the sticker is collected, your digital road license will be emailed to you. For more information, call the Transport Authority toll-free at 888-991-5687.
Good day, I'm Lisa Rowe and this is your JIS News for Wednesday, March 27, 2024. Cabinet has given the approval for the creation of 3,830 new posts at the National Solid Waste Management Authority. This will benefit workers at the agency's 4 regional subsidiaries. Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark updated Parliament as he closed out the 2024-2025 budget debate on Tuesday. The posts will come on stream in the upcoming financial year and supports the process of bringing contract workers onto permanent employment. Dr. Clark says the problem, which has been around for years, impacts the contract workers' ability to secure a mortgage or pension.
At the moment, there are only 269 posts. Everybody else is on contract. Sanitation workers, truck drivers, route supervisors, enforcement officers, mechanics, man speaker, all of the working people in NSWMA and its subsidiaries for the past 30 years approximately. But under this government, Madam Speaker, the permanent post has been created. And in the upcoming fiscal year, we will make workers in the NSWMA and their subsidiaries permanent.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness has tabled the Omnibus Protected Areas Policy Green Paper, keeping Jamaica in line to exceed the global target for the percentage of landmass being protected.
In the coming fiscal year, we will complete declarations of protection under the NRCA Act for the following 5 areas: Canoe Valley, which borders Manchester and Clarendon, Montpelier in St. James, Long Mountain, St. Andrew, Industry Cove, Hanover, and Bengal, St. Anne.
The globally agreed target is for 30% of the country's land to be protected by the year 2030. But Jamaica has already exceeded 25% and is on track to meet the 30% goal 5 years earlier by the end of 2025.
Your government will declare 23 parcels of Crown land as forest reserves or forest management areas under the Forestry Act in 2024-2025. It is also to be noted that we completed our protected areas regulations in this fiscal year, solidifying the framework to be used for management of these areas.
The latest developments follow last year's declaration of the Black River and the Pedro Keys protected areas, which were designated as ecologically sensitive areas. Students and teachers at the Monique College in St. Anne are now benefiting from an enhanced learning environment, with their e-learning lab being outfitted with technology devices. The equipment includes cutting-edge PCs, interactive panels, and multimedia screens, and were sourced by the Ministry of Education and E-Learning Jamaica. Education Minister Favour Williams says it is part of a larger effort to improve educational technology infrastructure.
When you come into the classrooms, if you're teachers, or into the world of work, you will be stepping in fully acquainted with technology, you will be bringing innovation into the classrooms or into the offices into which you go or into your own businesses.
CEO of eLearning Jamaica, Andrew Lee, adds that the devices will help teachers and the students train in problem solving, creativity, critical thinking, and innovation.
Let's remember that education in technology goes far beyond providing technical infrastructure. It's about engaging minds, fulfilling dreams, and of course, lighting the path to a brighter Jamaica.
And finally, the Silo community in St. Elizabeth is the latest to be connected to high-speed broadband internet, benefiting approximately 200 residents, including students. This was done by the Universal Service Fund, USF, and represents the fourth such initiative in the parish, the others being in Balaclava, Quickstep, and Seven Corners. Chief Executive Officer of the USF, Dr. Daniel Dawes, says more than $3 billion has been spent in the 2023-2024 fiscal year on programs such as these to increase digital inclusion.
We are committed, we have purpose that the charge that Darrell Vaz, the minister, gave us, that we are to go by the byways and provide for the people access to this high-speed broadband facility.
The occasion was used to distribute tablets to students, and a 5th grade student, Yannick Robinson, expressed gratitude for the internet connection.
I want to thank them for giving us Wi-Fi so we can do our homework and also to achieve our goals.
And that's it for GIS News today. I'm Lisa Rowe. Thanks for watching.
Planning, which facilitates orderly development, is a critical pillar to sound environmental management. Last year, you'll recall that we confirmed the Kingston and St. Andrew Pedro Keys development order. We are actively working to complete the parish development orders for St. Thomas, St. Elizabeth, Hanover, and St. James. I'm happy to report the promulgation of the Portmore confirmed development order. I'm also happy to report that NEPA has completed the master plans for Constant Spring, Halfway Tree, and Negril. I'm pleased to report that the beach access and management policy is complete and will be tabled at the next sitting of the House. The policy seeks to ensure Jamaica's beaches are preserved and sustainably managed for present and future generations, and the provision is made for Jamaicans to be able to access their beaches. The existing Fantasy Beach Park in Priory St. Anne will be developed into a parish beach park similar to the Harmony Park in Montego Bay. The government will be upgrading another 9 free community beaches this year. Beyond 2024-2025 budget year, we will develop the Boston Beach Park in Portland, and we will do a major beach park in Negril. Coastal assessments and hazard maps have been completed for 8 priority coastal areas. We have already successfully implemented the $1.3 billion Port Royal street revetment that protects 1 kilometer of shoreline and the adjacent economic assets, transport routes, and communities in downtown Kingston. In the coming year, the budget includes funding for a revetment at Buff Bay in Portland and shoreline protection at Anato Bay in St. Mary. I'm proud to report that the development of our Development Bank of Jamaica has been accredited by the Green Climate Fund as a national direct access entity that allows for application and implementation of large climate projects of over US $250 million. This accreditation is the largest received for any national entity within the Caribbean. I'm happy to announce that today I will table Jamaica's Omnibus Protected Areas Green Policy Paper. In the coming fiscal year, we will complete declarations of protection under the NRCA Act for the following 5 areas: Canoe Valley, which borders Manchester and Clarendon, Montpelier in St. James, Long Mountain, St. Andrew, Industry Cove, Hanover, and Bengal, St. Anne. Additionally, your government will declare 23 parcels of Crown land as forest reserves or forest management areas under the Forestry Act in 2024-2025. The Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation will collaborate with the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining to increase the island's network of fish sanctuaries by expanding existing ones and establishing new sanctuaries under the Fisheries Act. We will also pursue amendment for the marine park regulations to simplify the administration of user fees. In response to the increasing challenges posed to the island's natural waterways, the government will commence work on the development of a national wetlands and freshwater policy for Jamaica. Jamaica will complete its national policy on the environmentally sound management of single-use plastics. This year, we will begin the separation of waste, in particular plastic waste, at all government facilities nationally. Jamaica will also enter phase 4 of the ban on some plastic materials on June 1 of this year. This phase will include a ban on the manufacture, import, and distribution of single-use plastic lunchboxes and on personal care products using microplastics. Your government will be tabling for debate amendments to raise the fines in both pieces of legislation from a 50,000 ceiling under the NRCA Act and a 1.5 million ceiling under the Wildlife Protection Act to a 5 million ceiling in both pieces of legislation for individuals, but $10 million for corporate bodies. That's a substantial increase. Today, I'm happy to table Jamaica's new watershed policy. I've given instructions to NEPA to develop a policy that would see the banning of any waste or effluent being discharged into the Rio Cobre. We have put in place a new water treatment facility, and therefore we must protect that body of water.
Most of us travel daily, whether it is for work, school, or leisure. Some of us also have to travel using public transport. In a quest to ease the burden on our pockets, the government has implemented a reduction in fare prices on JOTC buses to help us reach our destination. The first phase of reductions already took effect, and the next is just days away. Find out more about these reductions in this next feature.
All commuters who travel with the Jamaica Urban Transit Company, JUTC, will benefit from lower fares.
Effective April 1st of 2024, a further reduction in the regular fare from $70 to $50, and in the fare for children from $25 to $20.
Making it cheaper to travel with the state-run bus company is part of the government's plans to manage inflation and mitigate the impact of recent increases to the fares charged by public passenger vehicle PPV operators.
The government of Jamaica is very mindful of the impact of the PPV increase on the cost of living, and also the need to support the Bank of Jamaica in its efforts to return and keep inflation within the 4% to 6% range.
Bank of Jamaica Governor Richard Bowes has welcomed the move.
Inflation is now projected to generally remain within the target range, except for December 2023 and a few months in 2024. The announced fiscal measure will have a material impact on tempering the potential inflationary pressures of the PPV fare increases.
The question is being asked, how will this impact and who will it impact? The last survey shows about 145,000 passengers being transported in the KTMR on a daily basis. Of that, 60,000 is on the buses.
To ensure the JUTC can manage any increased passenger demand, government is expediting plans for the acquisition of more buses in 2024.
We're looking to put 100 buses in the fleet of the JUTC for the calendar year, not the financial year. The calendar year 24 could be as early as June if everything goes according to my plan. But definitely by latest September with the first 100. The impact of those 100 buses will probably increase JUTC's movements, daily movements, by about 20,000. So you'll be moving to 80,000.
Commuters will benefit from the reduced fares for up to 24 months or 2 years. The fares will then be readjusted to the previous levels.
From healthcare transformation to a beautification project, positive things took place in the western part of Jamaica in recent days. We'll share them with you in our Western Roundup.
On this episode of Western Roundup, we look at the healthcare transformation sweeping through St. James. Then we head to Trelawney, where residents of Cooper's Pen are reaping the benefits of a major beautification project. After which we hop over to Hanover, where students and staff at Mount Ward Primary are celebrating the donation of a much-needed water tank. Stick around, you don't want to miss it. Residents in St. James and the wider Western Jamaica are set to benefit from an additional 650 hospital beds once the Cornwall Regional and Western Children and Adolescent Hospitals are completed. And according to the clinical coordinator of the Western Regional Health Authority, patients will also benefit from additional amenities.
I have a plan to set it up with what we call a high dependency unit for medical patient people like with heart attack.
The Cornwall Regional Hospital redevelopment project is ongoing, with plans to complete Phase 2 in the upcoming 2024-2025 fiscal year. Meanwhile, $800 million has been set aside in the upcoming budget to continue work on the Western Children and Adolescent Hospital. Over in Trelawney, residents of Cooper's Pen are now benefiting from a major beautification exercise carried out by the Western Parks and Market, WPM Waste Management Limited. Dubbed For the Love of the Environment Cleanup and Beautification Initiative, the engagement enhanced the community's appeal to visitors as well as improved the environment.
We are demonstrating to residents how important it is to reuse some of what is being disposed of on the landfill. Now, some of such things are like old handbags, old shoes, etc. We are using some of those to plant flowers and to beautify the area. We are showing residents that through partnership we can create a very friendly environment as it relates to beautifying the area, so that when tourists come to this area, they can see that we as Jamaicans, we are trying our best to ensure that we have a clean and beautiful environment.
And the effort was appreciated by the residents.
Nice for you to have this going on in this community. So at the same time, we all have to appreciate that you people come around and do what you have to do, get you, and it's love.
The Mount Ward Primary School in Hanover is the latest school to receive a 1,000-gallon water storage tank courtesy of Courts Ready Cash. The entity has been donating storage tanks across the island to assist the schools in their water resilience efforts. Tanks have been distributed to schools across Clarendon, St. Thomas, Portland, St. Mary, and St. Catherine.
This endeavor is not merely a response to a crisis, it is a proactive step forward towards mitigating ongoing drought conditions and ensuring a sustainable future for our communities, ensuring that school will never again be disrupted due to a lack of vital water supply.
We are over the moon excited and delighted that we found our way in someone's heart to be considered for this token. This gift will undoubtedly mitigate the water woes with which the school is plagued with. Indeed, all the stakeholders will definitely be beneficiaries of your generosity.
That's all for the program today. As usual, thank you for joining us for Western Roundup, where we take you from the corners of St. Elizabeth to the hilly terrains of St. Anne. Remember to send your feedback to jismobe@gis.gov.jm. Until next time, take care.
Apply to the Heart NSTA Trust. Learn a new skill and expand your horizons. Your government has made it completely free to you.
When traveling on the roads, we also pray for guidance and protection because anything could happen to us. Whether we travel using cars, buses, bikes, or other modes of transportation, we can never be too careful on the roads. Let's see how you could save your own life and that of someone else with some road safety tips.
It looks like I'm all ready to go, but am I really? Yes, I'm doing all the right checks to make sure my vehicle is road ready. But what about everybody else? How do I get ready for them?
Driving to save lives, time and money in spite of the conditions around you and the actions of others. But in a nutshell, we want to ensure that, we leave our destination and we reach home safely without creating any harmful situation for any other road users.
Using the techniques of defensive driving helps you to reduce the chance of other people's mistakes affecting you and your vehicle.
You must always be aware that though you might be a good defensive driver, the other road users a lot of times aren't. People will borrow your lane, people will overtake carelessly because they're tired of being in front of a vehicle that is slower than them or a truck.
The government is targeting behavioral change among drivers to reduce the country's vehicular collisions and fatalities, and defensive driving is one of the tools. Grinnell's driving school is known for championing safe driving. Director and instructor Seth Grinnell leads us through some useful defensive driving techniques. Let's learn.
The road code says that the person who arrives first should be allowed to go first, assuming that everyone now, of course, comes to a stop at the stop sign. We'll creep to our line of vision to see if it's safe to go. I'm going to make a right turn and then I proceed. Using the cover and scan technique, when approaching an intersection, we usually want to shadow our brake, but most times what we do, we toot our horn, we don't slow down because we believe the horn will stop the person's vehicle pressing their brake for them. That's not the technique we should use. So when the light turns to green, we wait at least 2 seconds. Then we scan our intersection, ensure no one is running their light, and then we proceed safely. All right, so we're on Hope Road, and this road slopes slightly downhill. So it's very easy for you to gather speed without even knowing. Now the speed limit is 50 kilometers per hour, but I can promise you, I am going 50 now, and you realize that people will be passing me with ease. Now, one of the biggest issues here is that people always crash into the wall right at waterfalls there. Now, there are adequate road signs. We can see the road signs, the backdrop, which speaks to caution or warning, and the left arrow bent like that means left bend. So caution, left bend. Now, if you do not slow down, there's even a recommended speed here. I promise you, your vehicle will only try to go straight. You will not be able to maneuver the bend, and the wall shall meet you. So the road signs should be adhered to.
Eager to learn, we quizzed Seth some more about other defensive driving techniques and how to deal with the narrow roadways, especially in rural Jamaica.
Bumper-to-bumper collisions is one of the highest crashes that we have, especially in built-up areas. Within Kingston, we have a lot of built-up areas, people who are late, people who are impatient, and the closer you are to the vehicle in front of you, the more likely that if you are distracted, if you aren't really aware of the situation, you'll end up into the back of the vehicle. Even a sneeze. Because when you sneeze, sometimes you jerk forward, and before you know it, in someone's trunk. A lot of times what happens, you might be peacefully going about your way. Someone bad drives you, and then they give you some choice words, the body language, and you believe that you have to meet them in kind. You just have to let it go. It doesn't positively impact your driving. A lot of times it leads to you taking unnecessary risks. So you want to take extra caution, use up your horn to alert the road users in front of you that you are coming and that they should hold their side of the road and so forth.
There are many ways to deal with the far too many lives being lost on our nation's roads. Government's enactment of the New Road Traffic Act is helping to actualize the transformation by issuing harsher penalties for road safety breaches. Defensive driving puts the driver in the seat to save lives. With more calculated efforts and responsible actions, it protects the most vulnerable road users and benefits all without a cost.
Can you believe it? We're at the end of yet another show, but be sure to join us tomorrow on this station for all the information you need to know. Until then, visit our website, jis.gov.jm, for this and more offerings. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Theodore Henry, reminding you to drive safely on the road.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.